In this video, we'll be sketching the graph of a cosine function. If you've not already done so, press pause to copy down these guidelines in your notes. When you're ready to continue, press play. The example that we'll be doing is sketch the graph of y equals 3/2 cosine of 2x minus pi. Well, let's compare this equation to the general equation. We'll notice that there is no c value, so our vertical translation is 0. The a value is 3/2, and we're going to need to factor out a b value so that we can get our period. So to start, let's go ahead and factor out b. Since the x has a coefficient of 2, we need to factor that 2 out of the parentheses. And when we do that, we have x minus pi over 2 left inside. So our b value is 2. Then we'll find our other values that we need for graphing. The a is the amplitude. Absolute value of 3/2 is 3/2. So our amplitude is 1.5. Our period we find with the formula 2 pi over b. Since we found b to be 2, then our period is 2 pi over 2, which simplifies to pi. Our c value was 0, so we don't have any movement up or down, no vertical translation. And our phase shift we have to find, once we factor out our b value, we find that our phase shift is a positive pi over 2. Our next step is to draw the guidelines. Since our c was 0, we don't have any movement up or down. That means our center line is going to be the x-axis. And then our amplitude was 1.5. So we're going to go up 1.5 and draw the guideline for our maximum values. And then from our center line, we'll go down 1.5 and then draw our guideline for the minimum values. Our beginning x value is the value of d, which is our phase shift. So we have pi over 2, which I wrote as 2 pi over 4, and you'll see why in just a minute. Then we want to take our period and divide it by 4. Our period was pi, remember? Our period was pi. So we'll divide that by 4 to represent our 4 quadrants. And we have pi over 4 is the distance for each quadrant. So take our starting value, which is pi over 2, our 2 pi over 4, and add pi over 4 to that, and we get 3 pi over 4. Then take that 3 pi over 4 and add another pi over 4 to that, and we get 4 pi over 4. Take that value and add another pi over 4 to get 5 pi over 4. And then take that value and add another pi over 4 to get 6 pi over 4. All of these fractions have 4 in the denominator, so I'm going to label my notches on my x-axis as fourths. So here we have pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, 4 pi over 4, which is just pi, 5 pi over 4, 6 pi over 4. And go ahead and label to the left of the y-axis as well. So negative pi over 4, negative 2 pi over 4, negative 3 pi over 4, negative 4 pi over 4, which is just negative pi, and negative 5 pi over 4. Our beginning value was 2 pi over 4, so this is where my curve is going to start. My curve is a positive cosine curve, so it'll start with the maximum value. At 2 pi over 4, we have a maximum value. And then our next main point is 3 pi over 4 for center line. And then 4 pi over 4, which is pi, that'll be our minimum. 5 pi over 4 will be a center line. And then 6 pi over 4 will be a maximum. I can go ahead and continue this. We had a maximum here, and each of these quadrants is represented by pi over 4, which means I'll hit a center line here at pi over 4, a minimum value at the y-axis, or 0, and then negative pi over 4 is the center line, maximum, so forth. We can continue this all the way. The only thing left now to do is to draw our smooth cosine curve. So we have as smooth as possible with a fractured wrist here.